to votes in the environment sector. This is volume B5, volume 3. The question is that vote conservation, vote environment and vote parliamentary commissioner for the environment stand part of the schedules. A call must go to the call Scott Simpson.
Mr Chair, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to stand and rise to speak in the committee stages of this appropriation estimates bill debate. Sir, I chair the Local Government Environment Select Committee, and it was a great pleasure to have before the committee at estimates only a few weeks ago 3 of the most competent, most able, most inspired and most passionate advocates for our environment, and they all happen to be Cabinet Ministers in this John Key National-led government. We had before the committee the Minister for Conservation, the Honourable Maggie Barry, who has spent an entire life working in the area of conservation, dedicated to preserving our natural environment in a way that most New Zealanders understand completely, because they've seen her for years on our screens, and she has a reputation and a credible track record that is unimpeachable in terms of her commitment to our environment and to conservation in New Zealand. We had before us the Minister for the Environment, the Honourable Nick Smith, another person who has dedicated his life and his parliamentary political career to ensuring that the New Zealand environment and the standards that we have as a nation are improved and are constantly improved. And we had before us also the Minister for Climate Change Issues, the Honourable Tim Grosser, who has brought to that portfolio a level of intellectual rigour that was never apparent before when other governments have been occupying these Treasury benches. And, sir, those 3 Cabinet Ministers provided the Local Government Environment Select Committee with a very good understanding and analysis of what is essentially this government's blue-green agenda for our environment. It's a blue-green agenda, sir, that is based on the principles of economic growth and improving the environment hand in hand at the same time, not mutually exclusive but together. And those principles, sir, include an absolute understanding that good science is critical to quality environmental decision-making at every level. And further, sir, that collaborative solutions developed by sectors and communities working together are far more sustainable and enduring than any kind of policy rant and cant that can occur from members opposite. There are 6 priority areas that the ministers presented to Select Committee, and they made it clear that resource management reform is still an absolute high priority on this government's agenda. And I'm confident from the messages that we saw...
Sorry to interrupt the honourable member. The time has come for me to report progress.
It was in full swing too. Oh, that's good.
The House is resumed.
Mr Speaker,
Mr Chair.
The committee has considered the Appropriation 2015-16 Estimates Bill and reports progress. Mr Speaker, I move that the report be adopted.
The question is that the report be adopted. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The bill will be set down for further consideration in committee next sitting day. Members, the House stands adjourned until 2 p.m. tomorrow. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora.